It is November the 15th at about 10:44 a.m. Once again, I am headed back to Boulder to shoot more episodes of Cosmic Disclosure. So, seems like I just got back home a few weeks ago. Hopefully this will be the last trip for a little while. There's been a lot of travel involved in my work lately. Here goes my bags. All right, well, it's time for me to head out. Molly, bye-bye. You're not gonna cry for me this time? All right. What is today, the 17th? And it's about, 11:35? And it's snowing.
So Corey, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Now we've seen a lot of folks out there on the internet. It's actually kind of tapered off a little bit in terms of some of them being seen as credible, but over the years, we've seen a whole lot of people either A, portraying themselves as fake insiders, or B, saying that they are having some sort of channeling experience. And what has been your experience with most of these channelers that are coming out on the internet in terms of the truthfulness of what they're saying? To the amazing correlations between what is in the Law of One material and Corey's own direct experience with the Secret Space Program. All right, so let's just hit the ground running and have fun with this. We've been talking about the Law of One and their description of the Draco. And they never used the term Draco. They never described these beings as having a reptilian appearance. But in various parts of the Law of One, they are clearly describing, as we've been saying, an occult extraterrestrial group that is working with people in our
the last one that were reported, I actually read the Law of One. The last time we did it, you were like, you haven't read the Law of One?
Just book one, or did you read all?
No, book one.
Just book one. All right, so what we're going to see here now is...
Let's say that, actually.
Yeah.
Before we start going into slides, let's just make mention that he has read book one.
Okay, so Corey, when we last taped the show, you hadn't seen the Law of One at all. Has that changed since then?
Yes, actually I was able to read the first book of the Law of One. I only read it once, and there's a lot to retain, so I'm going to need to read it a few more times, obviously.
There are those mind-body-spirit complexes, or people, upon your plane, who do exercises and perform disciplines in order to seek contact with sources of information and power, leading to the opening of the gate to intelligent humanity.
The ancient mystery school teachings that they've taken and corrupted is what pops into my mind.
Are some of these people actually practicing meditation and trying to do, even if they're very negative, that they're doing a meditation practice?
Yeah, they meditate.
Okay, and you had mentioned the idea of somebody going with like a box cutter knife alongside a sheet,
Right.
and like slashing long holes in the sheet as they walk by.
Right.
And what was this in relation to the Earth's energy field? How would it look on a map of the Earth?
It's just like if you took a globe, spun it, and then took a Sharpie and touched it to the globe as it was spinning, it was going to leave a streak, or you know what I'm saying.
And what was the effect of this tear? What happened once they created that tear?
This tear allowed beings from another dimension to have access to ours. Some of these cases where there are reptilians or these Nordic type groups that I've told you about that are walking around with like these big pelican cases that hold equipment levitating, floating behind them as they walk along.
Right. Yeah. The information is very seldom shared, therefore the chariots vary greatly in shape and appearance. Do you agree with that statement? These windows are rare and unpredictable, so this is something that's allowed to happen by our own free will. Then it says, is it necessary in each case for the entity who is contacted in one of these landings to be calling the Orion Group? Or do some of these entities come in contact with the Orion Group even though they are not calling that group? You must plumb the depths of fourth density negative understanding. this is difficult for you. So we're seeing they're setting us up here for something interesting. Once having reached third density space-time continuum through your so-called windows, these crusaders may plunder as they will. The result's completely a function of the polarity of the, shall we say, witness/subject or victim. Dude, this is the galactic slave trade. They're describing exactly what you've been telling us right here in the Law of One, that they may plunder as they will. The people who are plundered do not necessarily have to be consciously calling the Orion group, but then notice it says the results are a function of their polarity. So I know that when you've talked about the galactic slave trade, it would appear that just anybody could get picked, and that's going to freak a lot of people out.
Well, and that's of the human trade business came about.
But I want to point something out here, because the people in the space program themselves may not be aware of this because it's done in a way that's not visible to them. But the Law of One is saying very clearly here that if you haven't authorized your abduction on a spiritual level, it will not happen. That it's the spiritual polarity of the people who are picked up that has allowed this to happen. So if your karma is such that you could benefit, even though it seems impossible to think that anybody could benefit from this, it could have not even been in one lifetime. It could be another lifetime that you did something really, really cruel and horrible. And a lot of people do cruel and horrible things on Earth. That's what it seems like it's talking about here. Now, do you think that is plausible based on some of your conversation with the Blue Avians and the Spear Beings?
It could be plausible with the alien abductions of people, but when it comes to the humans down here abducting them, it is,
They got the list. They work from that list. Get the people that are requested.
If they don't do this really, really fast. So that's one of the reasons why they need to do it so fast.
Right.
Okay. You got a piece of hair, so just grab that. Okay, good.
Well, this is my view from the hotel that Gaia supplied for me. As you can see, it has snowed. And I have not done a whole lot of vlogging on this trip. We've been so busy, and I just didn't have time. But it wasn't an eventful trip. We had maybe 7 shows that we taped, and we had another special guest that I'm not going to announce yet. So stay tuned, and thank you for watching Good Vlog.
Stacy, happy birthday.